Hey YouTube, it's Matt with Reptiles, and today we have no camera guy because we're all three in the shot. So our camera guy is a table and a plastic tub. Kurt, before we start this solemn video, how do you feel about being replaced by a table and a plastic tub?
It's inferior because it can't move around and zoom and follow you.
That's what we're all going to say about the machines that replace us one day too. Now, I have a hard time not trying to be jovial and joking, but today's topic is going to be a fairly solemn one. What we want to talk about is just, we're going to talk about Brian Barczyk. And I know that usually means, oh God, somebody's going to say something. No, for those that, everybody knows, it's not for those who don't know, everybody knows what Brian's going through right now, which is pancreatic cancer. Everybody probably knows how serious pancreatic cancer is, and it's a very serious thing. It's not necessarily the end of the world, and we're not approaching this like it's the end of the world. I don't want to be doom and gloom on that, because I know he's going to fight and give that everything he's got. But in the meantime, I thought this would be a good time for us, because we've all been in this a while now, right? To each individually kind of share and then together share our feelings and our thoughts on how he's affected our life in ways that he doesn't probably know, because, I mean, it's not like he's hanging out here on the weekends and having a beer with us or anything like that. He's, in Michigan, and I mean, we've met and things like that, but it's, we're not BFFs or anything of that nature. So, I guess I'll just start this shindig, if that's all right, unless you guys want to go first.
Nope, you can.
Thanks. Appreciate that. Make me do all the sad shit first. So, for me, what this means is, and to be blunt, just out there, it is hard to know that somebody that you know or look up to, or that you kind of consider somebody you learned a lot from, even though you're not in their facility, and learned through their energy and their level, and like gained a lot of confidence from. Like, I wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing without learning and watching. And I know that sounds kind of fangirlish, but fuck it, I don't really care at this point. Is going through something that is possibly terminal. Because, well, I said we're not going to be doom and gloom. We're not going to sugarcoat this either. This is a fight for his life. And, well, he's going to do everything I know. It doesn't necessarily mean it's going to go the way we all want it to. We're going to hope it does. We're going to pray it does. And all of that. But when I'm faced with the fact that he may not be here anymore down the road, or it may not be the same, or I'm going to now watch this person, and no matter, I know he's going to try to avoid having on the vlog, but it's going to be completely impossible, because there's days he's not going to be there. I don't watch the vlog every day. I watched Snake Bites back in the day religiously, so I do on my lunch break, and that's kind of how I got to know him and that crew, and Chewy and all them old dudes, right? But I do catch the vlog. I do watch the vlog occasionally, and I kind of skip through to see what I want to get out of it and everything else. But to see this guy who, for the last, it's about 2000, probably 13, 14, I've been watching a lot of, always bringing this high energy, always bringing this super happy emotion, is going to be so run down at times going through this fight that's just not going to be there. And to have to watch that fight and that suffering is going to be so damn difficult for me. And knowing that a piece of what I thought was always going to be there may not always be there. I always thought, one day I'm going to get to go to that reptarium, and one day I'm going to get to, sit down and where it's not crazy to show or something like that. The times I met him and talked to him and maybe pick his brain and just, get a chance to, as crazy as it is, really tell him what he has meant in my career for me, and providing that confidence. Because this is completely out of my comfort zone, man. Like, start something like this. And then believe in it and, like, get that joy and get that fun. And it's going to be lost. I may never get that opportunity. And that's going to suck. So I kind of wanted to make this video with a slight hope that maybe at some point he gets to see that and knows what he means to me, even if I can't tell him. And I've talked to him a few times through texts and things like that, and he's always good to respond, even though I'm a peon. So I appreciate that a lot. But, that's not always the same context. And for all of you who are in this market, came in later, post Snake Bites and post all that, just know when you go to the show and you see all those ball pythons and all these morphs and all these combos, none of that's here without him. And there are certain people who laid our foundation and laid the groundwork for our industry and our hobby, no matter what level you're at in it, and he is one of those people. I mean, probably the two biggest would probably be him and Kevin McCurley, if we're being really honest, or probably the two old dogs, right? And to lose that face is going to be difficult if it happens that way for me. And it's going to affect me. You know, it sounds like I'm being really selfish talking about me. Well, he's the one who's got all this he's dealing with. But, and I don't know. I'm still coming to grips with it. I probably should have waited a few weeks to make this video, but I didn't want to wait because I wanted to also get it out there. I don't know how this market's going to be without him. And people are going to chuckle at that because they're like, oh, well, he doesn't really do ball pythons anymore so much. I mean, he does, but he's doing, salt and pepper, and he's doing all these other things, which are his gators, by the way. All these other things now in the vlog, and all these other animals, and he's more into the zoo than he is to breeding and all those things. I get that. But I want you to think about how many people he brings to the hobby, how many of those walk into their first show, how many of those have their first excitement, and are willing to reach out and look at a reptile or look at an animal they never thought much about or that they were scared of because they watched this crazy guy with a long gray ponytail jumping around like he's 5. There are certain people in the world that you follow in your hobbies that move the needle. And for me, there's been 2 of those people in my life that have truly moved the needle in how I saw reptiles and how I saw things. The first one is the completely unreplaceable Steve Irwin. And people will try to fill that role. Jeff Corwin, I'm looking at you, man. Great dude, knew a lot. You're no Steve fucking Irwin, buddy. You're just not. Nobody is. It's not a knock on you. There will be no other Steve Irwin in life. And then it was Brian Barczyk who moved that needle as well for me, and there's never going to be another Brian. So I hope he gets to do this for 20 more years, and I hope he gets to bounce around like a crazy man for 20 more years. And I just hope that he knows the impact he's had on people like me and how that impact has literally changed my direction in my life. So this is my way of saying thank you. And we're going to hope for the best in your fight. Anything you need, my man, we're going to help you with if we can. But no matter what, know that your influence will live on generations and generations and generations as this hobby continues to grow because of the people you've affected. We still talk about Steve Irwin, and I know there'll be a lot of people like me who will still talk about Brian Barczyk as well, no matter what happens. So who wants to go next?
I can.
Go for it.
So, I don't know, kind of thinking back, about Brian and I've never really met him. I've never been at a show with him, but one thing I do remember and one thing I've watched a lot is Snake Bites TV. That was probably the first videos that I've ever seen about him. And then I remember when he was still doing Snake Bites TV, and then he kind of started doing his daily vlog, and how he was like, oh, this is going to be bigger, I'm going to do this. And I know that his goal was to have a YouTube channel that got to 1 million subscribers. Our goal is just to get to 100,000 subscribers, and we've slowly we're
snail crawl.
Yeah,
baby.
we're at a snail's pace doing that. And I really look up to him on the aspect of social media because he's basically where I want to be. I'm not very good on camera, and I'm really working to do that. But he just seems like he's naturally good on camera, which that is him and Matt. I think are kind of a rarity on that. I've done a lot of filming, and I've filmed a lot of people, and a lot of people I thought, man, you're gonna be great on camera, you're awesome, and then you put the camera in front of them, and they're horrible. And there's few people out there that are really good and really have a natural aspect of it, and I think he does have that. But and then looking, how much social media and stuff he's grown. When you kind of talk to him in the reptile, when you talk to anyone in the reptile industry, they know his name and who he is because of that social media aspect that he carries, and not too many people have that. So I like we try to aspire to be like him and try to get as big a following, and I don't think we ever will reach anything like him. We have different styles of content than what he does.
Maybe 1/30th of the following, the 100,000 maybe.
Yeah, but I'm just always inspired about his energy and everything and doing a YouTube channel like we do. It's a lot of work, and he does it, and I just know that how much time and effort, and a lot of people don't do that. When people think about like, oh well, you're a YouTuber, that's something that's easy. Like you just put a couple videos, and it's a lot of hard work. If you do it as a full-time job, it seems like it's more of a full-time job, because you can go to your day job and they basically sit and decide like, okay, this is what you do today, this is what we got to get done, and you just do what you're told to do. Like with YouTube and stuff like that, social media, you're self-motivated. Like if you don't do it, it's not going to get done, and it has to be a constant thing that's always done, always in the back of your mind. Okay, what am I going to do tomorrow? What am I going to do today? Like what's the next thing that we're going to do? And that's the bad thing about it, is that there's always more and more and more that's needed from you, and then trying to bring that same amount of energy. Like I know it's not easy, but Brian seems like he makes it come off easy.
It does.
And that's something that I admire, and like I'm just kind of awestruck that you can do something like that and put together and always continue to grow, continue to feed the YouTube beast of video after video after video. And that's I really admire Brian for doing that, and that's a huge inspiration to me.
And damn, he connects with everybody.
Yeah.
Like he puts up a video and he's got that ability, and I don't have this. Like I appreciate the kind words about me on camera, but I can't touch that guy, because he can speak to a child and an old person and everything in between at the same time.
Yeah, and then one thing too is I have a couple younger kids, and they are on their phone constantly watching YouTube, and they watch more videos of Brian than they actually do our channel. Which, I get it. His videos are geared more towards that, and like the kids really really like them, and they learn a lot too watching his videos. But yeah, I'm kind of like, it's like, well, why don't you watch some of our videos? But
hey, your dad does this,
Yeah,
you suck, Dad. I'm gonna watch Brian.
But and then the one thing too is that they watch a lot of Snake Discovery too.
Yeah.
Those are the two channels that they watch a lot of. But I don't know. That's just one thing that I really love about Brian, is his passion, and then everything he brings, constantly, day after day. And that's just like I've never met him, but I know Matt has met him and other people. That's just how he is. It's hard to do something and be fake about it, and Brian is truly, that's just how he is.
That's the thing. In person, it's the same excitement you see on camera. He's just on a snake to shit right on cue. We are in a reptile room. Thanks for interrupting that solemn moment, Snake Poop. But he's just as excited on camera, just as energetic, and takes the time to talk to people. Like, just, I don't know, man. Like, it's going to be horrible watching them have to fight and not be able to have that energy level. My heart breaks for him and his family on that. I just hope he comes through, because I'm just not ready for the industry not to have him. All right, Caleb, you're up, buddy.
Yeah. So I'll kind of piggyback a little bit on some things Curtis had said. It takes a lot for someone who... So, when he manages a lot. I managed the reptile shop and zoo for these guys, and I remember coming in some days and just being like, today is not it. Like, I don't want to be here. I just want to, I got shit to do and stuff like that. And it was nowhere near on the level of what he has to do. Because his zoo was 40 billion times bigger, and he's got the YouTube that he's got to do, and he's got the financial aspect of it. I was just selling, ordering, cleaning. He's still got the bills and the figuring out an expansion. He's got, stress through slow days and figuring out if they need to, where to recoup the money and all of that. And he still comes on every single video and is just that rambunctious, everywhere kind of attitude, no matter what. And that takes a lot. And then to also have and know that there is a good chunk of the community who won't even give him the light of the day on what he's doing, what he has to say, his overall message of reptiles are awesome. That's gotta be. I mean, that's gotta be hard. I am definitely a people pleaser. I hate it when someone's like, oh, rah, rah, whatever to me, and I'm like, man, I kind of feel like crap. I can't imagine thousands having Facebook groups created over crap that doesn't matter anymore. So kudos to him for being able to do that. And I cannot imagine a world where, I talk about all the time how I love selling people their first pet reptile, or insert any animal. Like, that excitement is just, I get to live vicariously through that, because that just gives me a boost of energy, and I love it. And I know that he has sold thousands of people their first snake, and I know that every single time he's still got that same energetic excitement for them. And it sucks to kind of think about there eventually, no matter what, there will come a point in time where he's not there for that. And to think about that this could have set a time limit on it sooner than we could have ever expected, it sucks. I hate that thought. And I hate, when I first found out about it, the first thing I messaged one of my friends was, man, I could not imagine getting that news. Because I know I still have a lot of projects, a lot of things I want to see do that are going to take 10, 15 years to get there. And knowing what I know about Brian, I know he's still got those projects as well. And I could not imagine having these cool projects and ideas and things I want to do, like that aquarium and things like that, and then be told, hey, there's potentially a time limit now.
Yeah.
And you have to balance so much, because you got your family that you're going to want to spend time with, what do you do with your business? I cannot imagine, and I cannot imagine any of that. I just can't.
Yeah, and something else you kind of made me think of when you were talking, because he's got those projects, things he's doing, and the size of his YouTube channel. Here's a guy that if he wanted to, he could make vlogs, and would have a huge income from just that, and he could just have a handful of things. But no, he has a huge overhead too, because what he's got, right? And where does he put the money that does come in? I want to build this aquarium. I want to build this. I want to do this. It's always going into more animal stuff and more animal expansion. He's not out there buying 5 Ferraris in a mansion. He's out there buying more reptiles and more animal things and more expansion. So he definitely has those things he wants to see through. And man, I don't know. It's just heartbreaking, and it's cathartic, to talk about things. And for me, I don't want there to be any doubt, because there was that time, like you talked about, where there was a group of people being stupid, and we were then in Brian's corner then, and that's never going to waver, whether it's that or whether it's now. That guy has literally done so much for me without even knowing he did. And talk about selling, first animals. How many first animals do you think he sold that he never had a part of? What I mean is, people walk in when you're managing the shop, they'd walk in and they'd want to buy something, and as they're buying it, what do they end up telling you? Well, I got into this.
Long-haired guy on YouTube.
Yeah, this long-haired guy on YouTube, Brian.
Yeah, Brian.
And they murder his last name,
Barczyk.
It's Brian Barczyk. Yep, I know who you're talking about. So he sold animals, at pet shops all across the nation, whether they want to admit it or not.
Yeah.
He sold animals at reptile shows that he wasn't even at, all across the nation. Because he'd go to expos. That's how some people learned expos existed. He has made our hobby bigger, better, and stronger. I mean, he just has.
I agree.
There's no way around it. And anybody who says different is just stupid. Because we don't have what we have without him. Ball pythons and reptiles are still a lot more in the shadows than what they are now. If he wasn't who he was and that front man for all of us for years. I mean, Kiss ain't Kiss without Gene Simmons, right?
True.
I mean,
True.
Guns N' Roses ain't Guns N' Roses without Axl.
Yeah.
I don't think the ball python hobby and industry in the Reptiles is what it is without Brian Barczyk the last 15 years in it. I just don't. And that's so. Anything else you guys got?
No.
All right, Brian, I don't know if you'll ever see this, but if you do, just know that, man, from over here in the little place of Purple, Manhattan, Kansas, you got nothing but love from us. And we're here for you. We wish you the best. Get better soon and fight like hell because none of us are ready to lose you just yet. And I'd like to keep you around and get to sit down and pick your brain sometime and watch it bounce off the walls. That's all we got. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next time.